Welcome to the Catholic Life Coach podcast, where I help ambitious Catholic women overcome fear and self-doubt so that they can boldly step into the dreams God placed in their hearts, live authentically, and grow a business rooted in their faith. I'm your host, Carla Fitz. I am the Catholic Life Coach, mom, entrepreneur, and your companion on this journey of holy ambition. Each week, we dive deep into faith, mindset, business, and identity so that you can live aligned, lead confidently, and create the impact God designed you for without guilt or hustle. If you are ready to stop holding back and start showing up as the woman God created you to be, you are in the right place. Welcome, and let's get started. The human mind plans the way, but the Lord directs the steps. This was the phrase that came up for me during my holy hour this past week, and I needed to share this with you. You have no idea how much I coach around the topic of, but things are not going the way I wanted it to go. And recently I actually heard someone say that we misunderstand the phrase of, this is part of God's plan. What we must remember is that it's actually not quite like that. We must remember that the way we should say that phrase is, God has a plan for this too. Sometimes things do not go the way we want them to go. Sometimes, especially in business, you'll notice a fluctuation, a sense of flow, where there will be moments where you're reaping the benefits and the results, but there will be seasons in which you are going to be planting. And when we are planting, that is the season where we do not see God's plan yet. We do not quite see what God is going to do with this planting we are doing. But we must trust that God has a plan. We must trust that there is a plan that He has, that He will do something even better than what we can imagine or envision for ourselves right now. So I'm going to say that again. The human mind plans the way. So what that means is we are the ones sitting in the current reality saying, hey, God, this is what I think should happen. I'm thinking that this is what I might need to do in a couple of weeks. We are planning the way. That is what we do. Our human mind really wants to figure it out now and then figure out how it's going to work out. But we have to consider the fact that the Lord is the one directing the steps. He's directing us and redirecting us whenever needed. God is always in control. For some of us, that might actually be very triggering and be like, well, then what's the point of me showing up? But the truth is, this is a comforting thing. Because no matter what, even when we get it wrong, even when we think we got it wrong, even when we're like, this isn't working, God is making a way. I think this is an idea of consolation to remind ourselves that God is in control. I love always reminding my clients that because we are seeking His guidance, because we're letting Him lead, because we're doing things that are uncomfortable, we have to also trust that because He's in control, He's going to lead us. Let God be God. We have to separate the two lists. The things that we need to do, the things that are in our control, versus the things that we can surrender to the Holy Spirit. God makes a way in impossible ways. I mean, this is coming from the girl that this past year came to the realization that God really wanted us as a family to leave our one income, which was my husband's job. And mind you, we had been discerning for a long time. God made a way out of nowhere. It's like, wait, this is not going to happen. It was early January. My husband and I were still desiring to travel. We're like, yeah, that's not going to happen. I mean, how can it happen? We're supposed to leave in March. We have tickets for March. What are we going to do with the return ticket? God made a way in an impossible way. By mid-February, my husband had officially put his 6 weeks in for his leave. And by early March or end of February, I had signed a couple of long-term clients. Our income was good, but we still had to rely on him. And I was scared. But the moment that I put my trust in him, the moment I said, you know what? I'm not going to sit in the sidelines anymore. God is going to make a way. We ended up leaving March 25th of last year. So it's crazy because it's been a full year since we did all that and started the pilgrimage. And then, which of course led us to doing the retreats in Assisi, which is still mind-blowing. Do you remember those tickets that I just mentioned a few minutes ago? That I didn't know what we were going to do because we had a 2-way ticket, but we weren't going to use it. I was like, man, I guess we're wasting money. By a miracle, the airline refunded us. Nothing got wasted. God had a plan. And you will find yourselves in your business, in your life, where you're like, God, this isn't going the way I thought it was going to go, or in the timeline that I thought it was going to go. But what if we trusted that phrase more often than not? That yes, our minds are going to want to plan, and we can absolutely plan. But that God is leading us, that God is guiding our steps because he knows what's best for us. And sometimes, and no is a redirection. Sometimes is a not yet. And sometimes is, I have something better for you. Trust me. And even when things don't seem to be going the way we want, what you will always find a few months later is that it happened in the best way possible. It always happens. There's not been one time that I'm like, well, God disappointed in that one. We can trust that God is in control. So let's let him lead. Let's let God be God. Believe this, especially in times when you're waiting, when there's transition, when you're not entirely sure how things are going to pan out. Believe this even harder. The devil really wants to distract you. He's going to say, well, this isn't working. You should quit this business. You should quit this idea. People are not going to buy this. What makes you think that? This is going to make some people uncomfortable. So let it. Because if God is leading you, he has a bigger plan. I always joke, but I mean it. And whenever the devil gets really cranky with me and he starts attacking me, I'm like, man, I must really be in the right direction. So let's go even harder. There's nothing that bugs him more than some women who are desiring to serve God and to expand the mission, that are willing and desiring to make a difference in the world and to bring more people closer to God. There's nothing like it for him. It is very annoying, and that's okay. Let him. In those moments, do the next thing that came into my holy hour. Look at Jesus. He is the master of guiding us through transitions. He always finds a way. Remember that your life, just like St. Paul, your life, just like his, can change in an instant. In one instant, St. Paul went from killing Christians to being the most faithful follower of Christ. Your life can also change in an instant. Your business can also change in an instant. But in order for that to happen, we must believe ahead of time and continue to move forward, trusting in his guidance. And the last thing that came for me in a holy hour was a recommendation. It is to pray the surrender prayer of Saint Ignatius of Loyola. And I'm going to read it here for you guys, because I do think it is very powerful. It says, "Take, Lord, and receive all my liberty, my memory, my understanding, and my entire will, all I have and call my own. You have given all to me. To you, Lord, I return it. Everything is yours. Do with it what you will. Give me only your love and your grace. That is enough for me. Amen. I'm going to break it down for you a little bit in this podcast. So first, we give God our liberty, free will, but I'm trusting you with it. The next part is my memory and my understanding. This one I think is so big within the world of life coaching and the world of business. It is the memory part. In order to move forward, we must let go on what we have seen in the past. The results that we have created in the past do not determine our future. We must let go of what it has been and allow God to create something new in our life. My understanding. We do not need to understand. We need to trust. We need to believe. We will understand in time. Right? Once things are completed, then we'll understand. But if we continue to simply look and seek understanding, we will not move forward in faith. And that is not the way. The way of Jesus is the way of faith, of trust, of surrender. And therefore, he always says it, do not just seek understanding. We don't need understanding. We need to trust his ways. The next part, it continues and it says, my entire will, I give it to you, all I have and call my own. I go back to the beginning of my holy hour with the human mind is the one that plans. We have to give up our will and desire the will of God. This is, I think, a prayer that we should 100% pray to Jesus consistently. It is to help us desire the will of the Father. It is not my timing, it is his timing. It is not my will, it is his will. Yes, it is my dreams, and we're giving it to him, trusting that he will do with those dreams the best, that he will create the best outcome. All that I have and I call my own. This is very key, my love. Your business isn't yours. Your income isn't yours. Your house isn't yours. It was a gift from God. And so how are we stewarding that? We must give it all back to him so that when he calls us to move forward from something, we're willing to. When we're moving forward and creating something new, we are able to let it go and create something new with him. All I have and I call my own. It is not mine, it is yours. You have given it all to me. To you, Lord, I return it. Everything is yours. Do with it what you will. Give me only your love and your grace. That is enough. This is the prayer that we should 100% pray at the beginning of our work week, at the beginning of our work day. Pray this prayer often. I will be praying it with you as well, because it's a fabulous reminder that what we have is his, that we can trust him, that he's got us, that he's making a way, and that all we need is his love and his grace to continue forward, to move forward, to heal, to say yes, to grow the businesses that he's putting in our hearts, to follow the dreams that he's putting in our hearts, to raise beautiful children that he has given us, to have beautiful marriages that are also part of our graces. Again, not the understanding. We do not need to know how things are going to pan out. Things do not have to work out exactly how we think it should. But we can simply trust ahead of time that things are unfolding beautifully because God is leading us. This is kind of what I wanted to share with you in this podcast, and also want to extend the invitation. If you have not heard or if you have not signed up, go for it. I'm having a free 3-day challenge called Abundance Without Apology. We are going to go deep into these topics of healing our relationship with money, with abundance, with success, which I think is a topic that it brings a lot of pain and a lot of insecurity for a lot of us Catholic business women. And women with dreams, women that desire to grow and become the woman that God is calling them to be, this is something that we truly struggle with. And that is something that I struggled with for many years. And I am so grateful I received help in order to release these beliefs that were no longer serving me. And because of that, I have been able to co-create beautiful abundance in my life, not just financially, but with time, with what we do in our life, and just leaving out those dreams that God put in our hearts. And I want to support so many of you doing the same. And that is why I'm doing that free 3-day challenge, which is just going to be very eye-opening and will help you release a lot of those beliefs that, unfortunately, but very truthfully, we were raised with. Beliefs that seem pretty and seem holy, but are actually preventing us from living our holy ambition, that are preventing us from fully stepping into that version of us that God is calling us into, and fully serving those that God is calling us to serve. I think all of us admire and love St. Francis, and that is something that I strive still to live, which is the simplicity of heart, the simplicity of detachment, where if God calls me to move, I will move. And that simplicity of the joys in life that are the smallest pieces in our life. But there is a misunderstanding in that we shouldn't have, therefore, income or wealth, and that needs to change. I think a lot of us need that support, and that's what we're doing inside of the challenge. So if you want to come and release some beliefs that are no longer serving you around income, around finances, that might be debt, that might be growing your business, it might be a salary that you really want to grow, however that looks like for you. But this invitation is more than just finances. It is a holistic version or view of abundance. And that abundance is huge and rich within the Catholic faith. And I am so excited to talk about it. So come join me. Completely free, nothing to lose. So let's go. I'll see you inside. And until next week, God bless. Thank you for joining us and for being a part of this incredible community. If you have found these topics helpful and you want to take it deeper and transform your life from the inside out, I want to invite you to join my signature group coaching program, Rooted and Radiant. It is 6 months surrounded by other amazing Catholic entrepreneurs growing with God at the center, healing the beliefs that hold them back, and stepping boldly into their most authentic self. If you want to learn more, the link is in the description. And until next time, God bless.